Hello and welcome to Trend Watch by CompTIA Research, where you get a little bit of this and a little bit of that in today's technology data. Today, we are going to talk about CompTIA's State of the Tech Workforce 2024. If some of you may be familiar with its previous title, which was Cyber States, but this is our broad look at what is happening and going on within the tech workforce at a national level, at a state level, at a metro level, and what some of the trends are. I'm going to hit you today with quite a few numbers because it's a very data-centric, very number-centric study. And I encourage any of you who are really interested in doing a deep dive on your particular region to get your hands on the full report. And you can take a look at everything that's going on with respect to the tech workforce in your particular state or your metro region, whatever it happens to be. It's super interesting and a ton of data. I'd say big picture, before I give you all the numbers, is tech workforce. That's a good place to be. It really is. It is, one of the growing areas. It's been growing for a long time. It outpaces the rest of the general economy in terms of the number of jobs and the percentage of people who are in the tech workforce. So it's a very exciting place to be. We saw a huge boom in technology hiring during the pandemic around 2020 and 2021, a lot of job postings at that time for companies putting out there looking for technology workers. And then we saw a little bit of a slowdown, and slowdown is definitely a relative term because we still saw increases in tech jobs, but a slowdown from the pace that had been happening in 2022 and 2023. But we are projected for a resurgence coming in 2024, and BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, where we get quite a bit of the numbers for this particular report, is projecting growth of about 3.1% in jobs for 2024 in the tech space. So that would take you up from 9.6 million jobs in the tech workforce today in 2023 to about 9.9 million in 2024. And I want to break it down what we mean a little bit by technology jobs or tech, because there's really two ways to kind of describe this. There are jobs that are in tech professions, and that includes technology jobs in all industries across the United States economy. So you could be working in manufacturing, you can be working in retail, but have a tech-related job. It also includes all tech-related jobs in the tech industry specifically. So if you work for a software company or a hardware company or a networking company, but have a tech-specific job, that would be inclusive of what we call, tech professionals or tech employment. Then there are those who are employed in the technology sector itself in non-tech jobs, but they are supportive of the technology industry. So those would be jobs in business professions, marketing, HR, legal, anything that sort of surrounds the technology professionals that work in the tech industry. And the breakdown there goes about, it's almost split. So the number of tech professionals in the entire economy would be about 5.8 million in 2023. And the number of tech professionals who work in the tech sector, but not in tech jobs and more business related and supportive jobs, is 6.4 million. So if you add that all up, it's quite a few people that are making their careers, making their money based specifically off the technology industry. The economic impact of the tech industry is huge in the United States. The BLS is projecting that it's about $2.04 trillion, or about 8.9% of the overall U.S. economy is impacted by technology work and technology jobs who are in it. So that's, an amazing number right there. And, the projected growth as I said, for 2024 of the tech workforce is going to be about 3.1%. Looking out over about the next decade, the BLS is projecting that the tech workforce and the tech economy will grow at about 2 times the rest of the United States economy, which is pretty astounding. So as I said at the outset, tech is a good place to be. It's a really good place to work. I mean, what are some of the reasons that drive it? Well, obviously tech is an ever-changing type of industry. It is mature in some spaces, but also is innovative and ever-growing in other spaces. You see a lot of replacement happening. So there are people who are retiring out of tech jobs and lots of young people who are filling the void. So you have a constant churn and a constant need for new job postings and new job hirings. Tons of digital transformation is going on. Those projects are huge. Big companies are doing digital transformation. Small companies are doing their form of digital transformation. And there's tremendous opportunity for technology workers in those spaces and all of those tech jobs that support technology workers to help companies with that very big transformation that's going on. There's a lot going on with emerging technology too. We've heard tons in the past year about artificial intelligence, and AI is just one area of MTech that is going to keep, flooding the need for companies to be upping their skills in these areas. That means they're going to be looking to hire, and that's going to, of course, increase the number of job postings out there, and of course, the number of people that are going to be hired or elevated with their own within their current jobs within the workforce. So again, great place to be. Let's look at a couple of specifics. So what are the leading job occupations based on some of the job postings and some of the data that we've collected from both the Bureau of Labor Statistics and from Lightcast? Number one would be software programming, web development, and then quality assurance and quality control and testing around that software coding. Software's kind of been at the lead of a lot of the occupations in the tech space for some time. Right behind that is IT support and repair. So those are technicians that are in like the very basic fundamentals and infrastructure of the workforce for tech. So, think about some of the companies that are working the channel who do IT break fix and are fixing your PCs, fixing your networks, working on your hardware, all of those things. That's still a huge, huge portion of the tech workforce. So whenever I talk about all the excitement around emerging tech and AI jobs and some of the things that are on the sexier end of the spectrum, there's still a massive number of jobs out there that form that very basic fundamental layer of the tech workforce. Other growing top tech occupation areas are cybersecurity, which is a pretty obvious one. And that's going to continue to grow. The engineering around that, the constant threats that, keep all companies on their toes. They're constantly looking for people who can help them protect and keep their data safe and keep their customers safe and keep their network safe. So that's going to be a growing area. Cloud architects and working on some of that digital transformation. Those are other big occupation areas along with emerging tech. So those are the existing top occupations. What are some of the ones that are in the top growth space that's for this year going forward? And the list changes just a little bit. At the top of that list for growth in terms of occupations are data scientists. So a lot of companies, as they're working through their digital transformation, as they're getting more and more into the cloud, as they're looking at things like AI, data becomes incredibly important. And so they are looking for those specialists that can teach them and make sure that they're, the companies are doing the right thing with their data, whether that's basic database management and setup, or all the way up to more of that higher elevated, more sophisticated level of skills around data science, where you are, reading the tea leaves, looking at the data, making projections out for the business to be able to run better or more efficiently or make more money, or you're in a data job that is helping to figure out how to feed AI and other machine learning type of operations so that they work effectively because they have the right data going in. So those are some of the high level takeaways from the national information in this report. I'll give you a couple of things about specific geographic issues around states. So the top states by net employment in the tech sector today a lot of them are unsurprising. California is number one. Then you've got Texas, New York, Florida, Virginia, Washington, Illinois, Massachusetts. Some of those are some of the big tech sectors that you see typically that always are the ones that have the highest concentration of tech workers in the country. Not a big surprise. But there are states that are gaining at a higher and faster percentage in the number of tech workers that they have in their states. And that's where we're seeing some changes going on. Texas is the number one in net gain in tech employment and projected out. But look at some of the other states that make this list. North Carolina makes the list. Georgia's making the list. New Jersey, Tennessee. So a little bit different. And then if you look out even further to some of the top states that are projected to have more tech growth in their workforce over the next decade, then you're getting into states that you never really talk about when it comes to the technology industry or tech workforce. And that is the state of Utah, the state of Wyoming, the state of Nevada, Idaho, West Virginia. All of those states are high up there on states that are projected to have a higher tech workforce rate of gain over the next decade. What accounts for some of that? Well, I will say we are now, through the miracles of remote work, able to really look at other parts of the country besides the high concentrations of tech going on the coasts to all of the space in between. And so people have learned that they can live in places that are maybe more desirable, the cost of living is lower, and tech businesses have learned that they can settle in some of these places that are maybe more desirable. The regulation and tax situation may be better for them, and they will have workers who can accommodate them in those spaces. It's one of the benefits of remote work. Remote work isn't going to be for everybody. We continue to see in our data that it will be a hybrid approach, but it is something that is enabling the tech workforce to spread out across the country. So if you're interested in a tech career, you don't just have to live in California or just have to live on the East Coast. There's plenty of opportunity for you inside the rest of the country. So if you're looking for more, please check out CompTIA's State of the Tech Workforce 2024. You can find that on our website. Thank you.